here. So good afternoon, all of you. I presume most of you are from education sector, if not all. So with this, admission line open and the board exams at the corner, around the corner, I think this is one among the most sought after topics to be listened to. Okay, so time to look beyond the boundaries. So when I say boundaries, I mean to say beyond the conventional, socially acceptable careers. There are so many careers. So how to go about it? What is our thought process like? And how people generally look into it. So these are few areas that we'll be looking into. So how many of us are very proud, flexible parents, like the one below? I don't believe in pressurizing my children. When the time is right, they will arrive at the default choice and go to law college. And I strongly believe I'm not a strict parent. I'm very flexible. Okay, these are some of the introspections as parents, as teachers, as guardians, as responsible adults that we need to ask ourselves. The father elephant is talking to his, son. Son, I'm very disappointed in you. You are 1 year old and you still don't know how to fly? Look at Mr. Eagle's son. He is already so good at it. I'm telling you this because I want you to fulfill the dreams I could not achieve. I'm sorry, Dad. I'll try my best. Okay. So here, how a parent is trying to leave one's dreams, unrealistic, unfulfilled dreams through one's child, and the stress the child is undergoing. So the parent is overpowering or overshadowing the child. So, when I take you through these slides, I want all of you to have an introspection and look into, am I one among those? If not, wonderful, thumbs up to you. If yes, please reconsider the way that you are communicating to your youngsters. Another, I want you to take my place after I retire. Many, so-called socially acceptable careers few to take up might be lawyers, might be doctors, might be architects who have their own firms. They expect that their children do the same course and take up the firm once they retire. Okay. See this crow? Singing has good scope. I want you to make a career in it. Okay. So this is a crow and not a quail. Okay. Now comes the mother hen. Once you grow up, I want you to fly high like an eagle. Just see the poor chick. Okay. Now is the turn of the tortoise. So he's been reading fondly how to become an athlete. I'm sure it will help you make a career. Okay. So now, I'm not saying it is impossible, but I'm definitely making a point is that we need to be realistic. Our aspirations need to be realistic to what a child can achieve. As parents, we all are very subjective. We all have subjective views about our children, our own children, might be our own students if we are teachers. But we need to have a very objective outlook because career is such a space that majority of a human adult's life revolve around career. To have a peaceful career is actually the, mool mantra to enjoyment and contentment in life as a whole. So how do people generally, so these are few examples that we spoke. So there are multiple factors that help one to choose their career, but we get influenced by other social factors like opportunity perception, like family influence, like peer pressure, like parental pressure. Don't confuse family influence and parental pressure. Okay, they are two different concepts. So when we are talking about opportunity perception, this is a growing field, many opportunities. This will ensure you a good job. इसका scope बहुत अच्छा है. Okay, when we use this word scope means, there is growth in that sector. Yes, IT, for example, IT has a lot of scope. Yes, IT as an industry has a lot of potential. But is your child or am I the right fit for IT sector? Because you need to see my opportunity or the child's opportunity in the sector and not the opportunity as such the sector can create, whether I'll fit into rightly in that sector. Now, family influence, the second one. These are the very common and most prominent influencers. Okay. My dad is an engineer or my mom is a doctor. My sister is an IITian and I also want to get into it. I have come across students who say my brother is an M or my elder sibling is an IITian, so I have to make it high. So the pressure is extremely high on the child. And the third factor, very much among youngsters, I always believe when a child is in that early teens or mid teens, around 15, 16, their first round of circle is their friends. Parents definitely come after that only. How much ever we say that, I am very friendly to my child, but they come after their friends. So peer pressure is higher. My friends are going for engineering, so let me also do it. All my friends are preparing for NEET, so let me also do it. So the peer pressure, whether I like it or not, but we are a group of 10, 9 are going for it or 8 are going for it. I don't want to be left out. I don't want to be a typecast. So I also would want to do that. Parental pressure. My parents say I should go for MBBS, or my parents want me to take care of the family business. Especially when it comes to family business, what I've noticed is they say, whatever you study, at the end of the day, you have to join the family business. So this message, knowingly or unknowingly, when you communicate or indirectly when you communicate to your child, the child knows, doesn't matter whatever I study, I need to come back to the business. Okay, there is some strong backup for me. Now let's hear Albert Einstein, this great gentleman. Everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. So I'm sure we don't want our children to think that they are stupids, and not all of them are fish and not all of them can climb a tree. Now, with all this, when we put all this together into our children's head, there is definitely some indecision, some confusion, some stress. Very natural for a 15 to 18-year-old or even for a 18 plus young adult to have. It's very natural because there are so many, bombardment of ideas, conflict of ideas coming into them. Such students achieve far less than their potential. Yes, the child knows I have the potential. The parents know they have the potential. The teachers or the immediate surrounding know the young adult or the youngster have the potential. But the youngster is unable to reach the maximum of the potential. Why? Because of the indecision, because of the confusion. Now, how do you know that there is indecision? Okay, so I think I'm great with maths, but I don't want to do engineering. I'm good with physics, but I don't think scientist is something that I'm looking forward. That is indecision, confusion. I score wonderfully well in mathematics, but I don't want to study science. Should I be studying commerce? Should I be studying science stream? That is confusion. Now, stress. Okay, I want to study, I want to get into fashion designing. But my parents say, no, hamare ghar mein, no one has ever done fashion designing before. You will go into some conventional career only. Okay. You don't want to study science, it's all right. You study commerce, get into banking. You study humanities, get into teaching. But not fashion designing, not hospital management, or sorry, hotel management, not, cabin crews. So what the child aspires and what the parent aspires are not in the same page, a lot of stress. Okay. So As parents, as guardians, as responsible adults, what can we do in this scenario is to help them achieve. This is exactly where the whole concept of career counseling enters. Okay, and I've seen a lot of people around us in the society who says, yes, 10th standard May, the child has gone into career counseling. We have done it once. Now, career counseling is not an one-time affair. When you fall ill, when your children fall ill, you wait for 3 days. Okay, whether that fever is subsiding or not. When you see that it's not subsiding, you're giving the regular paracetamol, but still it is not working, you find it important to consult a physician. The physician says, okay, beyond paracetamol, what has to be given? So the suggestions, if I equate it, yes, that's not a do and die situation here, okay? But if I equate the scenario with a confusion of a child, yes, the child has been telling this from class 9 onwards, I like this, I don't like this. There is a difference in opinion. You have advised your child, your relatives have advised your child, the immediate cousins who's doing collegiate education has advised your child, but still the child is not clear. Yes, now this is the time you need to go one step further and consult a career counselor. Now, how do you identify who's the right career counselor? Okay, if someone says that, yes, there is a standardized process that I follow, there is a standardized procedure of psychometric assessment, there is a standardized procedure of, one session and then a follow-up session and a hand-holding of query addressal till the requirement is in, yes, then even if the counselor is expensive, the counselor is going to stay with your child for a year or less, why not? And I also tell my students, a biryani or a pizza would cost not less than 600 rupees. How many pizzas do you eat a month or a year? If you put it all together, can't you do a career counseling for your lifetime decision making? The first step towards it, think twice. Okay, how people choose a career in general versus how people should choose a career. Okay, let's do a comparative study. People choose a career based on what the general world does. What has been the pattern, what has been the trend. People follow the trend. And it's time that we travel the path less chosen. We be the change makers. People only look into opportunities and not other important aspects as aptitude, personality, or interest, and many more, value systems. So, as I mentioned earlier, the sector might have opportunity, but does my aptitude fit into that? Or does my value system fit into the work value system of a particular sector? And I'm just blindly following because I'm following the general world trend. I do not have a strong reason why I am choosing, why I am ruling in, or why I am ruling out a particular career, a subject, a stream, or a specialization. Now, how should a child or a youngster ideally be choosing? Or as an adult, how should we ideally help them, our own youngsters, choose a career pathway? It's through informed career decision making. When I use this word informed career decision making, I mean to say exploration. I hope all of you are there with me. So when I say exploration, it can be through listening to interviews. It can be interviews that are broadcasted. It can be through, online interviews. It can be podcasts, listening to podcasts. It can be reading articles. It can be some intake that you see through movies, some reading newspapers, some career talks in the school, some dinner table career conversation between parents and children. It could be any of this. It's only you are letting your child explore. If you are able to identify a career counseling platform which has a lot of career information in that, why not? And you should start the exploration a little early. Don't wait. Okay, अभी तो बहुत time है, 10th में देखेंगे. या 12th में देखेंगे, that would become too overwhelming for the child because they have so much to study, and उसके ऊपर if you are giving them, okay, read this, explore this, they will be completely exhausted. Now there are the top few, quite a lot of parameters that one should be looking into. As I mentioned a little early, the top parameters are aptitude, personality, interest. Now, aptitudes are innate potential of a child. Okay. Yes. Does the child have innate potential? Have you identified some innate potential in your child? Does the child have a personality supporting a career that you aspire to take? Okay, for example, if you aspire to take where you require to do a lot of talking and you see your child is quiet, aloof and a quiet child, there's nothing wrong in being quiet, but then a personality type and the, personality demand of the career does not match well. So here exploration helps you identify all this interest. Do I have interest in that? Okay, as a student, it's not the parents' interest because the student, the child, the youngster is going to leave it through. So does the child have or the youngster have the interest to take it up? Are there opportunities for the child? As I mentioned, scope for the student or the youngster to grow in the sector, identify a career and identify a growth trajectory in the career. And also, I would add value systems. Now, science, commerce, a lot of discussion because I would want to look beyond boundaries. I would want to take up arts as a point of conversation today. 5 reasons why one should choose art stream. When I say art stream, I definitely do not want to restrict it to subjects of arts. Arts as a wider concept is what I would want to say. It's a very general discussion. You need to, relate it to your personal requirement, your child's requirement, your student's requirements. Okay. There are some core competencies required for majority of the, youngsters or people around. Now, the few add-ons that definitely an arts student or an arts stream youngster should require is creativity, depending upon if it is into creative art, if it is into, writing and expression of words, then creativity is something, or even through oral expression, creativity is something that they ideally would require, and ideally you will see these youngsters will be having, or they would have cultivated over a period of time. Next is how is the social compass? The interaction. You will see humanities children or humanity youngsters are more into social interaction, more for social cause. Social interaction is not only talking, but also your response to social issues. Into communication, how you communicate it, whether you might be good with oral communication or you might be good with written communication. Yes, if you have both, wonderful. Okay, so not only social compass, but also the creativity, whether you are able to put it in words. Okay? Logical reasoning. Every career requires reasoning. Humanities require, or arts stream require it a little more. What you're saying, why you're saying, how you're saying, all this comes under that. Okay, how are you analytical in your approach? Once you're analytical, how well you solve the problems. What are the suggestions for problem solving that you are putting forward to? Okay, that could be scientifically proven, that could be experimental, that could be hypothetical. Okay, now art students also do have a flexibility in career. Because I studied psychology, it is not necessary that I need to be in a space of psychology alone. I can be in a space of, might be mass communication, might be advertisement, might be content writing. I need to see, okay, my core subject and what are the other competencies I have. Based on that, I can make a call whether I actually need to think of another career, and how much flexible. You will see the flexibility index of a humanities or an art stream youngster would be high because they are receptive, more receptive to and open to ideas from the general public. And if you actually see, arts graduates are mostly better leaders. I've taken UK as an example here. 60% of UK leaders in business as well as politics do have an arts degree. Only 15 had technical degrees or have technical degrees. Okay. So that means because of their analytical approach, because of their problem solving, attitude, I would say, because of their communication skill, they evolve as leaders. They might not be leaders, not all would be leaders in the beginning, but they evolve over a period. They grow better and better over time. Okay, let's kill these two myths today. Arts is only good for academically weak students. I was just reading Quora before, the session. So it was mentioning, or it categorically mentioned in a few comments that, those who do not score academically well get into art stream, and they are not great analytical thinkers. So I felt, oh, so poorly read person he is. Because arts, humanities stream youngsters read a lot to understand and explore better. And arts is only good for girls. Oh, I've got a son, he will not go for arts. No, gone are those days. It's time that we break this or kill these myths. Why should we discuss all this? Whether it is arts, commerce, humanities, anything. Why? What's the importance here? Whenever we look for career, what we need to ideally look for is what you love. What does your child love to do? What pays well? And what is the child good at? It is not necessary that what the child loves and what the child might not be exactly what the child is good at. So we need to identify that also. Okay, the child is good at drawing. The child is good at, imaginative and drawing on one's own rather than replicating an image which is already present there. So that is not creativity, that is a skill. You have fine dexterity skills and you're able to copy what is there on a textbook or on a visual, you're copying that and drawing. Just taking drawing as an example. Now, a child is able to visualize, imagine and draw. The child is good at it and the child loves to do it. Now, are there people out there who is willing to pay well for that aptitude of that child? If yes, then it is a win-win situation. If no, we might have to reconsider. I'm not saying, okay, drop it. You just have to wait for the right opportunity to bring it out. Otherwise, what you love and what you're good at, you're happy but poor. What you love and what pays well, it is just a dream. And what you're good at and what pays well, you're rich but bored. So you have to have a combination, a porridge of all this together to have that win-win situation. So I hope I was able to give you some insights. That was the objective of my whole conversation with you all. And when your children discuss about careers, the process of career counseling, or at least put a word across, Mama, Papa, I want career counseling, or might not say directly to you that they require career counseling. They might just say that, I'm confused. I'm stressed regarding my career. I'm not able to make a decision regarding my career. Please take it as a right indicator that it is time for career counseling for your children, and reach out to people who know the circle well and identify who's the right counselor. And not everyone is right for counselor for everyone. You might have seen, someone made a house very, very well. Who you ask who's the architect? That the same person constructs your house. You are not happy with the same, architect. Why? Because it could be possibly because the architect was not able to comprehend your ideas rightly. So, or you were not able to put across your ideas rightly to the, architect. In the same way, not every counselor would work best for every child. So it would be a great, activity or an exercise for a parent or for a student also a parent is identifying someone, the student can give calls to identify whether their wavelength, whether the student is able to connect with the counselor. Only then, you know, um, the student can open up to a human being, a person, and then they can come to a consensus. Okay. So great. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks, Praveena. Thank you for the time.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Miss Preetha Ajit, I would like to request the audience to note down ma'am's number. If at all you want to reach her, ma'am's number is on the screen. Please note down. And we will move on to the question answer round. There are 8 questions, on posted on the web page, ma'am. So
Yes.
I would like to read out those to you. Most of them are covered in your talk itself, but I can't ignore the questions. I would like to,
Please, please do.
repeat them. So the first question goes like this: what does working beyond boundaries mean?
Okay. So here, when I say working beyond boundaries, as I mentioned once, I would definitely like to repeat it. So conventional thought process or conventional careers are the safest boundaries that we have put across or around our society, and we feel as ourselves, as our children, they are most safe in the tried and tested space of theirs. So it would be great, and there is world outside that boundary which we are yet to explore or which we are scared to explore, because there is a risk factor. So if you are able to break those boundaries, that is what I mean to say, look beyond boundaries.
Right. Ma'am, if you want to expand your camera screen, then that would be great. Like you can close the PPT, please.
Oh, okay, great. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So the second question is, please tell us about yourself and your education background.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you. Thank you so much. So while I was speaking, so I was wondering, oh no, I should have told that first before I started the whole conversation. So I come from a background of psychology. I've done my undergraduation and post-graduation in psychology. My masters, I have 2 masters in psychology. First one is in organizational behavior, and the second one is in counseling and psychotherapy. After which I moved into the space of career counseling. I did a certification in career counseling, and I've done my certification in social emotional intelligence, life coaching, career coaching, and I've been actively into the space of career counseling somewhere around a decade plus. So yes, I'm closely associated with an organization also. I am actively on LinkedIn, so you'll be able to see my profile there too. I also have a Facebook page by the name Crossroads of Career. So that's about me. And yep, I'm also training counselors who aspire to become career counselors. So I'm a trainer and facilitator also to aspiring career counselors. So that's about me, Praveena. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking.
Great to know, ma'am. So what is a career boundary?
Okay, so though that question is a little, I would say, vague for me. So, okay, so career boundary is what you set for yourself. My personal perception about that is, so for example, I feel I am content doing a talk show, and I've set a role limit. What role limit would I want to play? There is I'll take a bank employee as an example here. Banking sector as such is a sector with lot of potential, but if you would want to grow in that sector, you need to move out of your comfort zone. Okay, so if you set boundaries for yourself, okay, I want to go home at this time, I would only work in this vicinity, so you are limiting yourself. Whereas if you set yourself free, okay, I am willing for transfer once in 3 years. Oh, that means when you explore new places, you're growing as a human being, you're growing in your career pathway, and that helps you grow. I just presume that question is pertaining to that. because it's a little unclear for me when you say career boundaries. So break free of the boundaries. That's exactly what I meant a little earlier also. Okay, I would want to be in science only. I would want to be in commerce only. That could also be a boundary. So
Right.
it
The
depends.
limitations you set for yourself, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. The one's own limitation. I perceive myself to be in this space and I am content there.
Right, right. So the next question you have kind of explained, but I would like to read it again. How can we identify what career would work best for us?
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks. I would like to again repeat. So it is best, to explore first. Exploration can be at your own level or with the help of a career counselor. Okay, because a career counselor might be able to provide you with detailed resource material or very objective resource material. So that's an advantage of going to a career counselor. Now, once the exploration is done, then doing a psychometric assessment would be a immediate, perfect scientific approach. So once the psychometric assessment, having the basic requirement of aptitude, personality, and interest is looked into. So there would be some suggestions which a counselor would be able to comprehend it for you and suggest you which would be the most probable career pathway for one's success. So, but you shouldn't stop there, because career market or job market is so volatile that it keeps changing. So you should also be willing to upskill yourself based on the timeline where you are, based on the requirement that you are at. So,
okay. So how can we do self-assessment for the career we choose?
Okay, so self-assessment. So this is a very subjective or a non-structured, or I would say non-scientific approach of self-assessment, where you can you can make a SWOT table, your strength, your weakness, majorly identifying your strength and your challenges. So for you, if you have 3 careers in your mind, write the pros and cons of all the 3 careers, and corresponding to that, write your strength and challenges also. Do a matchmaking. You will be able to identify it better. If you have other, factors, might be someone would want to get into job market very early. So, or wouldn't want to study longer course durations, or wouldn't want to put in a lot of fees. So it's all very subjective depending upon where you are, where your thoughts are, where your family background is. Depending on them, define what you want first. And then you make a compartmentalized, strength and the challenges that you have for every. So that will give you a rough overview.
Okay. So I think you have mentioned in one of your slides, I was watching, where how you normally choose a career, and how the career counselor will help you to choose, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the difference.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
So, ma'am, by what age can a child get an idea about a career he or she can pursue?
Thank you so much, Praveena. So yesterday, actually, I was taking not yesterday, 2 days before, a theory class on career counseling. So there I spoke about a theory called parental influence. Parental influence can start as early as age 10. When it happens, it is parental influence. We need to understand, and we knowingly or unknowingly keep talking about one career alone, and the child believes that I am made to do or follow that career pathway only. Whereas if you expose the child, you're taking the child to education fairs, talk shows, so many things, the child is exposed to many things. Now gradually by the age of 13, you start discussing career, because by age of 13 their intelligence get crystallized. So then you start discussing careers with them. They start thinking about it seriously. 14 years, like end of class 9, is the right time. If you ask me, there are a lot of counselors who take assessment early. There are a lot of counselors who think it's all right in the class 6, it is good. In fact, I would want to share an experience in 2014. 2014 is what I'm talking. I got a phone call asking a mother, highly anxious mother, asking, which play school should I put my child into? Okay, that's the kind of parental influence that we are having, or overshadowing, overpowering. So 13, 14 is the ideal age. Please, let your children enjoy their childhood.
Right, ma'am. I can understand. So, last question.
Yes.
What made you choose this topic to talk about?
Okay. One is, I feel this is my play field. And second is, not everyone is open to the concept of career counseling, especially with this age of, I would want to say, chat GPT, or the age of internet. You feel everything is available on your fingertip. And then why should I, waste my money? It's not time. What they generally feel is waste my money on a career counseling process. What would the career counselor identify, which I did not identify in my child for last 16 years? That's a strong communication many parents make in a career counseling session, because you are a parent. You observe and you have your own biases. You have your own subjective opinions, which a career counselor does not have. So it's very important to normalize career counseling as a concept, and so that, sadly, 1 out of 50,000 students in India only get career counseling. So that's we are far behind in that. So we need to accept, we need to be willing to, that necessarily needn't be career confusion. It can be an open conversation between a counselor and a student also. So that's the reason which I thought, this should be a topic for a conversation today.
All right. Thanks a lot. That ends the question answer round, ma'am. School Journal of Education and schoolreformer.com. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. We also thank the audience for participating in the event. We will end the session now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Praveena. Thank you.